Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Have At It, episode 66. My name is Ben Cornett, and we are here live on Facebook, also on my YouTube channel at Ben Cornett 9015. And if on the Ben Zone in the Facebook group, it is on there as well. How's everybody doing? It is Friday night. It is week 3 of the preseason and the final week of preseason NFL football. I got in the background right now the 49er Raider game. Um, right now, they're some of the both teams are playing their starters for probably a series or two. Earlier tonight, the Bucks played the Miami Dolphins. I think that game's still going on, but I watched the first quarter of it. Um, they played Baker Mayfield tonight. He got one series. Rashad White played. He got a couple series. Rashad White got a touchdown. Again, not that it matters because it's preseason, but it was good to see Baker get some reps. Same with Rashad White. Mike Evans didn't play, um, but that's no big deal. Vita Vea played. Uh, Antoine Winfield Jr. played tonight, so a lot of the starters played for the Bucks. That was good to see. Just to get their feet wet out there, get ready for September 8th. As you know, the Buccaneers will go up against the Washington Commanders. Week 1 at home, 4:25 p.m. start. Afternoon game should be very interesting game because this will be for Washington. This will be Jaden Daniels' first NFL game, regular season game. That is, as we all know, if you're a Bucks fan, if you've been a Bucks fan for many years, like I have, you have seen that over the years we've not done well against rookie quarterbacks. It's been a little better as of late, but still, you wonder, if that, you know, tradition can carry over. I hope not. But we should be ready to go week 1. Right now, as far as I know, everybody is healthy for the Buccaneers. There's only like one guy that's injured on defense, Raheem Jarrett, but um, that's he's not a starter. So, not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that, it's put it this way, it's not a key player on the team. It's not a Levante or a Vita Vea, anybody like that. So our starting position players should be ready to go. Even Vita Vea played tonight. He got in there for a couple series defensively, looked pretty good. You could tell with that weight loss, he's moving a lot quicker, and he's still dominating uh, offensive lines. So you're getting a little sample size of what this guy can do with the weight loss. Um, I can't wait to see it because if you thought he was dominant, from as heavy as he was in years past, now that he's got more speed in the middle, it's just going to make him more dangerous, in my opinion. So I can't wait to see him go out there and help this defense try and dominate every week, get turnovers. And that's another thing for the Bucks. Obviously, our pass rush not that great. We're hoping that a guy like Chris Braswell, rookie from Alabama, can develop. Sooner or later. It's going to take some time, but I saw a couple nice tackles from Logan Hall tonight, which is kind of encouraging. He's kind of been under the radar the last couple of years ever since he's been drafted in 2022. So, and then Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, who I'm hoping this year, I be honest with you, I have my doubts, but I'm hoping I'm wrong that he can finally develop a pass rush and get to the quarterback more often and try and get a few sacks this year. So all in all, I think with our offense as well, and I know this is, buck talk, but real quick, I just want to say that I think with the play calling by our new OC, Liam Cohen, he's, I'm really encouraged. He ran a nice couple plays in the first series with Baker, Rashad White, some nice screenplays. It looks like to me he's going to put more emphasis on the run game, which he should. That's only going to help out our passing game. I said it for years now. You got to have a combination of both. Got to have balance on offense. That's the key word. The last few years we've had more passing than running. Our run game hasn't been that great. Hopefully this year with Cohen as the OC, he'll have a ton more offensive plays for the run game. And we got Bucky Irving, our rookies looked really good in preseason. Rashad White looked good tonight. So he got some playing time. It looks promising. Again, I'm not going to go out and make wild predictions that Rashad White and Bucky Irving would combine for like over 1,000 yards, but there's a good chance each guy can. I don't see why Rashad White can't get like 700-800 yards this year. Maybe even 900. The way the offensive play calling can be. So, yeah, I'm very encouraged about this offense. Also, Chris Godwin's going to get some more looks this year, be featured more in the offense. Jalen McMillan, he had a great catch tonight, by the way. Baker Mayfield threw a nice pass to McMillan. Was able to catch it, keep his feet in bounds. Great play. Very promising wide receiver out of Washington. He played on the same team as Roma Duze and Michael Penix Jr. So, he comes from a pretty damn good team, and, very excited about this guy's development. Can't wait to see him out there as well. So, with the comments, we got Blackie Lawless in the house. Sup, Ben, Buck and Cornet. Thanks, Blackie, for tuning in tonight. Appreciate it. Will Tick Holloway, thanks for tuning in. It was good to see Braswell get a sack. That's all right. He did. And that's good. That's encouraging, because a lot of people said, he's kind of a developmental type talent. It would take some time, but man, he looked good tonight. And I thought really played well, kind of stood out. So that's encouraging as well. Hopefully, like I said earlier, that pass rush can be more effective this year. We can get to the quarterback more. Albeit that the Dolphins are playing their second and third string guys, but still, Braswell got a sack tonight, another good tackle. Same with Logan Hall, a couple nice tackles there. So it does look promising for this team right now, as we can see it. Hopefully that translates into the regular season and off to the races we go. So, yeah, I mean, right now we won't just talk about my Bucks right now. Obviously, the Raiders and Niners are playing right now. I think, as we all know, the 49ers, right now they got a couple holdouts, Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams. It's very interesting. Last week it was about Niners and Ayuk were far apart. Now this week it seems a lot closer, that they're almost near getting a deal done. Trent Williams, I haven't heard much about, but I really think you got to sign Trent Williams if you're the Niners. I mean, he's one of the top 2-3 offensive linemen in football. You need him. He's vital. He protects Brock Purdy. He protects that run game. He creates those holes for the run game. As good as McCaffrey is, those holes that McCaffrey goes through don't get created without a guy like Trent Williams. So those are two very important signings that the Niners should get done. But it is very interesting that yesterday the news came out that Commanders receiver Jahan Dotson got traded to the Eagles. So that's an interesting move there. And I say that because with the Ayuk situation going on in San Francisco right now, I'm thinking that could open up a possibility that Ayuk could possibly get traded to the Commanders. I say that because if you don't know, that a few years ago, Ayuk and Jaden Daniels actually played together at Arizona State. Obviously, Jaden Daniels transferred to LSU from Arizona State after Ayuk left Arizona State got drafted by the Niners. So so it's something to look out for, is what I'm saying. Trying to connect the dots here. If they do make a move like that, I mean, I think that's a great move for the Commanders. Obviously you got Terry McLaurin. He's going to need another guy next to him. It's a great combination, McLaurin and Ayuk. Along with Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, and should be an improved offensive line for the Commanders. That's really going to help a guy like Jaden Daniels, develop a lot better as his career, moves along. So it'll be interesting to look out for if that trade happens. I don't know if it will or not, but I thought it was interesting that the Commanders made a move like that, because their depth chart's really not that great at receiver, from what I understand. So yeah, I mean, if Sean Spencer wants to, if he's there, if he's watching, comment in the section, his thoughts on that. I thought it was an interesting move. Then I thought about it, and I'm like, the Commanders did have these conversations with the 49ers about acquiring Brandon Ayuk. So like a month earlier. So it's very interesting. We'll see how that progresses. Speaking of quarterbacks, rookie quarterbacks, Caleb Williams, I've been watching him as well. I gotta say, so far, he played 2 preseason games, and he's not scared of the moment. He's focused. He's really working hard. I mean, I'm watching Hard Knocks as well with the Chicago Bears. I'm very interested to see how he does this offseason, or this coming season. I mean, so far, he's passing the test. He's got a confidence about him. He's watching him in games, especially against like the Bills, his first preseason game, he looked really good. Didn't look nervous at all. He took some hits, but at the same time, he looked very composed. And just he threw the ball. He wasn't afraid to make some, throws, whether they were good throws or bad throws. He wasn't afraid of the moment, and he did pretty well against the Bengals in their second preseason game. And I mean, you just re-signed DJ Moore to a long-term deal. You got receiver from the Chargers, Keenan Allen. If he can stay healthy through most of the year, I mean, that's only going to benefit the Bears. So, I think this team's going to be a lot better. They're going to be a lot more fun to watch this year. Defensively, I think they're going to be just as good. They acquired Montez Sweat last year. Brisker there. They tried to get Matthew Judon in a trade, but that didn't work out. They traded for one of the linebackers from Seattle, I believe. So hopefully that'll bolster up their defense. So the Bears are looking like a team that's going to hopefully make some noise this year. If you're a Bears fan, you hope that happens. We're not going to crown Caleb as the guy just yet. Obviously, he's got to play. We got to see him in a regular season game. So, but nonetheless, I'm excited. The Bears opened their season at home against Tennessee. The Titans, that's an interesting one. Will Levis be a second year at the helm? Unfortunately, Trayvon Burks, their wide receiver, got hurt in practice. They don't know how serious his injury is yet. But if they do lose him, that's a blow. Because you only got D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins, as your other receiver, and really not much, talent on offense. So, especially with Derrick Henry leaving, going to the Ravens. So that'll be interesting what the Titans do this season. I can probably see them more as a 5-6 win type of team. Um, they're not going to do much, but that AFC South is going to be very tough. Could easily be a 3-team uh, race in that division: Texans, Colts, and the Jaguars. Obviously, Colts played last night against the Bengals. Looked really good. Anthony Richardson did pretty decent job. Had a touchdown pass, did have a pick six. That's not what you want to see, but I thought he did okay. It's vital that he stays healthy. Especially him and Jonathan Taylor. It's Michael Pittman Jr. They got the Adonai Turner, I believe his name, the rookie out of Texas, wide receiver for them. He's got a lot of talent. This is a team that I think can compete in that division. Remember they almost won it last year. They were like 1 minute away from beating the Texans. The last game of the year, that Saturday night game, to clinch that division, and they came up short. But I could see the Colts being a 9-10 win team. This is a very talented team, and they're definitely going to give Houston a run for their money in the division, and that's their first game. It's going to be Houston Indy, so that should be a great game, and it'll determine, that first game is going to be interesting to see how far these two teams can go. So yeah, I'm very excited to see that. The Bengals, it's another interesting team. Bucks played them in the preseason, so that was the only time Joe Burrow played, ironically. That'll be interesting too. Joe Burrow actually is going to be ready to go week 1. When's the last time we were able to say that? Because the last couple of years he's gotten injured in training camp. But again, like the Niners, they have their own holdout situation with one of their own receivers, Ja'Marr Chase. Although it's kind of a hold in, if you think about it, he is at camp, he is showing up, he's just not practicing. It'll be interesting what happens there. Knowing the Bengals for years and years and years, they've basically haven't, except for Joe Burrow, getting a big contract for him. They're not well known for paying their players. They can be a little bit cheap. But if I'm the Bengals, I think it's vital you sign Ja'Marr Chase. He's one of the top 5-6 receivers in the league. You got to do it. You're gonna have to spend money, and he's definitely, I think, deserved it. He's been one of the top receivers in the league. Him and Joe Burrow is that incredible 1-2 punch. Going back all the way back to their LSU days. So, yeah, I think it's very vital that they get Ja'Marr Chase re-signed and on this team, for the next several years. So we'll see how they do there. It's going to be a tough division again. Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, talk about a very interesting situation up there. Who's going to be the quarterback? Is it Russ? Is it going to be Justin Fields? Nobody has really separated themselves from one another as far as that number one, that QB1 position. I don't know who's starting week 1. They got to go to, I believe it's Atlanta for their first game on the road against the Falcons, who, a lot of people are hyping them up to be a team that can not only compete in the NFC South, but perhaps win it, because they got Kirk Cousins. They got, Raheem Morris, their new head coach. A lot of excitement in Atlanta right now. They just traded for Matt Judon. So, they've improved their defense. AJ Terrell just re-signed, their cornerback just re-signed with the Falcons. So a lot of optimism there. And for the Steelers, who do you got going for week 1? It's going to be interesting to see what Mike Tomlin does, because that's really going to be vital for this team's success. If the Steelers are going to do anything this year, they got to know who their quarterback is. We know who their running backs are, with Warren and Najee Harris, Pat Fryermuth, their tight end, phenomenal. George Pickens, you know, they got the weapons. Now the question is going to be who's going to be the guy throwing it to him week one. My preference, I'll be honest with you, would be Justin Fields, a younger option who moves better right now, more athletic right now than Russ. I just don't feel like Russ is the guy anymore. He was garbage in Denver. There's a reason why Denver said, "Screw it, we'll pay you the rest of your salary just to get rid of you." So to me, and Justin Fields, unfortunately, he got traded to the Steelers. They wanted to draft Caleb. I get it, but yeah. Speaking of Denver, I mean, they named Bo Nix starting quarterback for week one. I like it. Sean Payton, may have finally found his quarterback. That's what he wanted. That's why he got rid of Wilson, so he can get his own quarterback, and that's Bo Nix. And he's really done a good job. I would say there's one other quarterback that's really impressed me, and rookie quarterback other than Caleb Williams, it's been Bo Nix. I mean, just the way he's commanded that offense, very comfortable in the pocket, in and out of the pocket, makes the right plays, has a good vision, down the field, loves to throw the ball, very good arm. And Sean Payton likes that. He likes guys that are aggressive. They're going to take their shots down the field. Going to play his style of offense. And Bo Nix has definitely done that. I think a lot of people thought before training camp would be Jarrett Stidham's job to lose, and obviously it was. And Bo Nix has impressed, not only myself, but obviously Sean Payton for him to start as the quarterback for the Broncos. So they got an interesting game as well. They go up to Seattle week one. That should be an interesting game with the Seahawks. Haven't seen much of them this preseason. Obviously, we got a new coach, Mike Macdonald, coming over from Baltimore. The Pete Carroll era is over with. It's a new era now. So Gino's going to be the QB. Sam Howell, from what I've seen, he was with Washington last year. Looked pretty good for the Seahawks during some of the plays that I saw him for Seattle in the preseason. So that can be interesting there. That could be a situation where if Gino kind of flames out, I wouldn't be shocked if Sam Howell took over. He's got a bevy of weapons, Tyler Lockett, DJ Metcalf, Kenneth Walker III, their running back. So they got a solid team in Seattle. The question is going to be their defense, and it hasn't been great the last few years. That's why they brought Mike Macdonald in. He's the DC for the Ravens last year. So we'll see how they do up in the Northwest. It's a tough division because you got the Niners, or they're the Niners. Especially if they get all their guys, IU, Trent Williams, to get their contract situated, they should be able to probably be the favorites not only in the division but in the postseason as well. So the Rams are going to be, just as good, I think. They were the surprise last year. Matt Stafford finally got healthy. Puka Nacua, the rookie from BYU, was drafted in the later rounds, kind of an unknown, but he really impressed everybody. I think right now I would say he's your number one receiver in LA. Cooper Kupp is your number two because Kupp can't stay healthy. So, but he's got to stay healthy as well. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, Kyren Williams, their running back. They got some Tyler Higbee. They got some weapons as well, and a good offensive line too. They finally getting that offensive line a little bit better, developed. Defensively, Aaron Donald retired, but they drafted Jared Verse from Florida State. As a Florida State fan, I love that pick, Jared Verse going over there. They also drafted his friend Brandon Fisk, who has been a lifelong friend with Jared Verse. If you don't know their story, check it out. Just Google it. Fisk had some developmental issues as a young man. Jared Verse helped him out. They've been friends for a long time. So, but it's a good story. And now they're on the same team, so that's pretty cool. The Rams defensively, I think they're going to be better. I don't know if they're going to be great, but definitely going to be, much improved. So I like that draft pick for the Rams. They should be pretty good in that division, and I still think they're going to make the playoffs. They got Detroit week 1. That's the rematch from their wild card game last January. That was a lot of fun. Detroit looking very interesting this year. Should be the favorites again. Jared Goff's back. Just got his deal. Congratulations to him, former Ram as well. It's good that, because I think for a while we all thought the Stafford Goff trade, they would have won that trade, the Rams. Obviously, they won a Super Bowl with Stafford, but it turns out Jared Goff's, he's resurrected his career in Detroit. And that's accredited to Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator, Dan Campbell, giving this team an identity and taking them to their first playoffs, and God knows how long. They were a quarter away last year. They were up 21-7, 24-7 at halftime against San Francisco in the NFC title game. So this team's very capable of, not only getting back to the conference title game, but perhaps making a Super Bowl. They got that kind of talent. And, Jahmyr Gibbs, their running back, Amon-Ra St. Brown, their wide receivers, Laporta. This team's legit. Very good offensive line. Penei Sewell, it's a little bit of a scare earlier this week. He hurt his foot, but they said the results were negative, so that's good for them. They lose Sewell. Penei Sewell, that would really hurt that Lions offense. His availability is vital with that team. So, yeah, I got the Lions, favored to win that division again. Green Bay will be just as good as well. So, Chicago, I think, could possibly sneak in as a wild card. I could see a 9-8 Bears team making the playoffs. That'd be very interesting to see. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I got, man. The NFL season's fastly approaching. We got 2 more days of preseason. And then we go for week 1, September 5th, Ravens Chiefs. Then the next night, Packers Eagles in Brazil. And then Sunday, my Buccaneers host the Commanders. Should be a very interesting game there. Cowboys Browns, Tom Brady's first game as a broadcaster for Fox. He's calling that game with Kevin Burkhardt. So that should be interesting. But that game's on at the same time as the Bucks playing, so I won't be able to see that. But that's okay. I'll just watch the highlights later. Rams Lions, we mentioned earlier. That's going to be the Sunday night game. Can't wait to see that. Houston Indy. That right there. It's probably the game of the morning games. And what else we got? Monday night, Jets and 49ers. Will Aaron Rodgers play more than a few snaps? Will he have more than 4 passes? Not kidding, but the Jets, that's interesting there. Their holdout with Sean Reddick. I don't know. Jets are the Jets. Unfortunately, there's always problems up there. I don't know what the situation is going to be with Hassan Reddick. Is he going to finally show up? or is he going to, pull a Le'Veon Bell and not play this year? He just got traded to the Jets, so he's asking for another trade. Jets are the Jets, so we'll see how that whole circus pans out. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish off this beer. I'm gonna watch some preseason football and enjoy the rest of the weekend. Thanks to everybody for tuning in tonight. I know it's not a very long have at it, but I wanted to get on here. Last week I had stuff going on, so I couldn't make it last Friday night, but I'm here this Friday night, at least for a little bit. So with that being said, I'm going to take off, but thanks everybody for watching and listening to my rambling about the NFL, the preseason, and what's going to happen. And next week too, a reminder too, my seasonal show, Ben's Quick Picks, is going to be debuting in the next couple weeks, obviously. And what that is, if you don't know, go up to my YouTube channel, Ben Cornett 9015. Ben's Quick Picks is where every week during the NFL season, we pick every game, who wins. We don't do like any over or unders, just straight up, who will win those games that week. Last year I went 182-90. That was my best season ever, so I did a very good job. Hopefully I can, get to that point again, or perhaps do even better. So we'll see how I do with my picks there. But yeah, it's called Ben's Quick Picks, and that will debut probably Tuesday or Wednesday before the regular season begins, the very first NFL regular season game. So check that out. I'll give you more details as the days, get closer to that. So check that out. And yeah, we're gonna do more have at it this fall too. Hopefully, I'll be on here every week. I do get busy sometimes. That's just life. But I will try and do my best to get on here as much as possible to, talk to everybody, put out some videos, and just talk NFL and even college football. We got college football starting tomorrow as well. My Florida State Seminoles play Georgia Tech in Ireland. It's week 0. We got SMU, Nevada. Another pretty interesting game there. I can expect some high scoring in that game. And then we got games on college football on next Thursday. And then week 1 next Saturday. So yeah, football season's here. Hell, even the other football, soccer, I like to say, is here as well. I'm a big soccer fan. Manchester United play at 4:30 a.m. tomorrow morning, so I got to get up early to watch that. They play against Brighton and Albion, so it should be an interesting game there. We won our first match last week against Fulham, 1-0. Zirzi, our new acquisition, the Dutchman, scored a goal late in the 86th minute, so very excited about that. And tomorrow we go on the road to play Brighton, and then the following Sunday we got a big matchup against Liverpool, so that'll be a huge game as well. So we'll see if Manchester United can get this win over in Brighton, have 6 points on the season, and get ready for a showdown against Liverpool. Well, anyway, that's enough soccer talk, but yeah, it's football. So football season's here, my favorite time. Weather's going to cool down, and we're ready to go for the next several months. So with that being said, everybody, I'm going to take off. Thank you again for watching tonight, and please like, share, and subscribe to this video and to my YouTube channel, as well as join me in the Ben Zone on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. Just, come right in, join, and watch all these videos, watch other stuff as well. I post other people's stuff as well. My friends and everything, they do their podcast. They, not just the Bucks, but like other teams as well, Cowboys, Ravens, etc. So, and Giants. So yeah, check that out as well. And with that being said, I'm going to take off. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you next time right here on Have At It. Have a great weekend, everybody.